Hello and welcome to another update. In this one, I'll be covering the front line, and I have decided to add, in case of fighting reports, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense as a source. I'm not saying that I will change the map accordingly. I'll be looking at what other reports as well and look at the situation. However, the reports of fighting themselves aligns very well with what my other sources say. So after a lot of time of looking at it, I decided that I can also use it and it will be fairly reliable. So starting out in the Zaporizhia front, we see that the Russian forces are attacking the village of Bilohirye, and that is to the east of Orikhiv, which is one of the two centers of operations for the Ukrainian forces in the Zaporizhia region. As for the Donetsk region, we start out in the area of Velika Novosilka, where the Russian forces are attempting to gain control over the southern area of the village, as it is split between a river line. The two parts of the city split between the river line, and that's for the southern front. As for the Donetsk front itself, the Russian forces are attacking in the direction of Pobjeda and Marinka, as well as Krasnohorivka, Nevelske, Pervomayske, and Vodian, all as they usually do. It is a daily occurrence, and as the War Council report stated, this is to prevent Ukrainian forces from grouping up large enough forces to conduct counterattacks within the region. So they're just trying to prevent Ukrainian groupings with these attacks. As for in the direction of Bakhmut, we see that the Russian forces are conducting offensive operations west of Kurdyomivka, where they try to expand the zone of control on the other side of the canal. And to the west of Klishchivka, they are attacking the fortified positions south of it, and they are trying to advance westwards across the canal towards the village of Pretechine to try and cut off the road between Bakhmut, Jazov Yar, and Konstantinivka. Most likely they will aim to gain control over the open field and reach the highlands from the south rather than attacking straight ahead against Jazov Yar, where the Ukrainian positions are stationed. The Russian forces also continue their attacks north of Klishchivka, as well as in the direction of the south of Bakhmut from the Upitne area, and they continue their attacks in the east of Bakhmut. As for the northern area, they continue to try and close into the Bakhmut area from Pidorodne. However, according to the report, they stated that they don't want to attack Bakhmut directly, but they want to encircle it, so they are going to move northwards rather than westwards after taking this village area of Pidorodne to the west of the highway, and then they'll move northwards towards Pereskovivka and Krasnohora, where the fighting continues. As for the Soledar area, the fighting continues within the city itself, as the Russian forces claim that they're still attacking Ukrainian forces who were encircled within the city. Other than that, the Ukrainians are organizing a retreat from the western area of Soledar, as the Russian forces try to press on and capture them, or generally just win over the Ukrainian forces before they manage to retreat. And most likely their direction will be northwards, as the highway west of the Silch city will still be usable until the Russians manage to capture Silch. So for now, they're most likely moving in that direction, as the southern direction is more likely to be cut off, as the Russian forces are moving towards Blahodatne from the eastern side from Soledar area itself. As for Rostolivka, the fighting continues here, as well as the Russian forces try to cut off the northern area and cut off Krasnopolivka from the Russian positions both in the north and the south. And finally, for the Luhansk front, the fighting continues around the forests of Kreminna, as both sides try to gain control over the forest area before a Ukrainian offensive towards Kreminna. And the fighting continues west of Chernopupivka as well as Plushenka, as both forces try to gain control over these areas, as the ones who control this controls the highway between Svatove and Kreminna. And finally, the fighting continues by the river line here to the north, as the Russian forces are trying to gain control over the river line, and the Ukrainians are holding on to their positions to prevent the Russians from getting control over the river line. And that's it for this update. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.